A reading from the Catechism of the Church about Trinity. The mystery of the Most Holy Trinity is the central mystery of the Christian faith and life. It is the source of all other mysteries of faith, the light that enlightens them. And this is the mystery. The Trinity is one. The Father is that which the Son is that which the Father is, the Father and the Son that which the Holy Spirit is. The divine persons are really distinct from one another. He is not the Father who is the Son, nor is the Son he who is the Father, nor is the Holy Spirit he who is the Father or the Son. The divine persons are relative to one another, maybe like first cousins. Because it does not divide the divine unity. The real distinction of the persons from one another resides solely in the relationship which relate them to one another. Whew. Doesn't that just grab you? There are 9 pages in here. That's one paragraph of 9 pages in the Catechism of the Catholic Church on the Trinity. Don't you just hear that and say, what I just heard, now that's the center of my life. What does all that mean, really? Don't get me wrong, I'm not doubting it. But I got to tell you, suddenly after reading it, I'm just not so sure why this mystery is so central to our faith and to our lives. You and I need, it seems to me, we need to move from doctrine to experience, to personal experience, to the experience of something we personally know. And today, this Feast of the Blessed Trinity is about knowledge of the mystery we call the Triune God. But it's not head knowledge, it's not abstract knowledge, it's not doctrine knowledge. It's participatory knowing, really. God is not an object, you see. God is not an object out there to be known. God can only be known from the inside. We move into the divine, you and I. I could describe a dance to you all day long. I could write 9 pages about dancing. But we can't prove God to anybody unless they've danced. I can't prove God to anybody who hasn't danced. If you haven't been there, you cannot know what dancing is. I can't dance for you. I can't do God for you. Neither can this. As brilliant as it is, neither can this do God for you. This is participatory knowledge from within. Trinity is the pattern of the cosmos. It's in the atom and in the molecule. It's in the planets and in the stars. All demonstrate this Christian intuition. The energy of the universe we now know through modern science, but the Church was on to this in the 2nd and 3rd century, well before modern science in the 19th. The energy of the universe is given and received all the time. It is the dance itself, this energy, this flowing in between and through all matter and out. This flowing is built into the system. It's built into reality. We know the flow. Being itself is that flow. Unhindered giving, unhindered receiving, all this flowing. There's no withholding in God. Utterly unhindered, totally unhindered flowing is who God is. It starts with the loving for us. This is the very definition of being, my friends, by God's own definition. The nature of sin is to stop the flow by a hateful heart, a cold spirit, a refusal of intimacy. Whenever I refuse to offer my life as a gift and to receive life as a gift, there's no Holy Spirit there. You and I cannot afford anymore to be unloving because it stops the flow for us. will be outside the mystery, outside this intrinsic grace. Perfect, utter giving and perfect, utter receptivity is God. The more giving and receiving we are able to be, the more we will personally know the mystery we call God. Saying yes to that giving and receiving allows the flow to happen. And the result is communion. It's connection. It's intimacy. It's people who are alive. People who are alive and making a difference with their lives, contributing to this world before it's their turn to give their life back to life itself. We can't make the flow happen. As we use these words in the spiritual life, they're right on target. We can just surrender to the flow. Get our fears out of the way and just surrender to our flow, to this flow. We can only allow it to happen because the flow will happen. This is a very vulnerable level of being for you and I. You are part of that flow. You are not outside that flow. We got to trust that I'm literally participating in God when I receive life and give it back. There's a woman just joined our community recently. I've sort of fallen in love with her. She's starting to die, really. She's been dying for a while. I'm going on vacation soon to do some biking in Ireland. And I was kind of hoping she'd die before I went so I could do the funeral. But that's not because I don't want her to be here. I love her very much. Her husband's here, Joe. Her daughter, Carrie. Her name is Shirley Dooley. Husband of some 60 years, preparing himself to give her life back to the source who gave her to him in the first place over 60 years ago. And her daughter the same. And all of you who've been there at the death of somebody you love, the reason that's so powerful is because we're right there, right then, in that very moment, you and I. No theories about God here. No 9-page documents defining who God is. In the very yes that Joe and Carrie will be asked to make, that all of us have or will make, in that very yes, we are participating in God. We are in the dance. We are allowing the flow to happen. We got to trust this, my friends, because if we do, if you trust that this is the nature of being, I'm telling you, smiling comes more naturally. Eye contact, greeting, thank yous, they come much more easily because it comes out of being itself. It's who we are. We just want to make this rush towards each other. We just want to make this mad dash to each other to connect, to receive another's life as a gift and to give it back, and to take this friendship and let it be a source of life and then give it back when it's time. We all have to do this. But to allow it to say yes, to not step outside that flow, is life itself. This even explains sexual desire. We have one for another. Sexual desire is at the heart of being because it's this incredible rush towards another human being. That's divine. Sexual desire is divine. Jesus comes. Jesus comes and pulls us like a dancer into the dance. Jesus makes this flowing available to us and shows us how to step into it ourselves. Jesus brings the eternal pattern forth into the world. Jesus commanded us to love. He didn't just say politely, please love. He said, you must love. You must love. You have to. or you won't know. You won't know God. You won't know yourself. And you won't know the mystery. My friends, that's the work. To live moment by moment in communion. To let God's life flow into me and through me back into the world to other human beings. Our life as disciples is less about understanding God than it is about participating in this divine flowing that is God, always flowing. I think the doctrine of the Trinity is a great example of what can go wrong with us. We get concepts in our heads, we memorize definitions, and we stop right there. It's not bad. It's not wrong to understand our doctrine. But let me be perfectly clear. Step one, the very first step, the very most important step, is to participate. To participate in the mystery of giving and receiving in every moment. It's to dance.